Signal Chasers.
Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Signal Chasers. We have chased these signals a long way, and it's led me to this rock, which is a different rock than you may remember, because this rock has ice on it. Has ice on it. Has ice on it. So, the reason I'm here on this rock, I was on the rock that... Actually, I don't think I ended the last episode on an asteroid. I tend to, if I'm not already on an asteroid, I may have ended on an asteroid. I don't know, you viewers know. I tend to end on an asteroid just because they're safer than floating out in space, because, you know, if someone's looking around and sees a floating dot in the middle of nowhere, they're gonna check it out. Whereas if they see an asteroid, they'll probably be like, asteroid, and not bother. So I was on a different one, somewhere out in the void. Maybe should have marked it because it did have platinum on it. But I came on the server a few days after the last recording. What happened was I came onto the server, and instead of waking up in my lovely cryopod over here, I woke up right here feeling particularly refreshed and revivified. You know, like I was in a new clone body. What had happened, remember how the oxygen tank was quite low on oxygen? Well, yeah, apparently I used the last little bit of it. I've since remedied that with more oxygen. But yeah, so I came on the server dead. I lost my nice fancy tools I had, so I'm back to just basic scrub tools. And I essentially had to go hunt down some ice, because otherwise I was going to be dead a bunch. So, I think we can probably kick everything on. There's another story about that. But, yeah, so I have a whole bunch of ice. I think I just did 2 loads, but it was enough. The oxygen tank fills up real quick. Hydrogen tank is full. So, we're stocked up on fuels and have ice to spare, which is good. The other thing, so I think as of this recording, and this means nothing to you because it was months ago, but as of this recording, yesterday was when I came on, discovered the death and need for ice. So I found the ice, mined it, and, you know, did what I needed to do. I forgot to turn the ship off. So you may notice there's more off than normal. Like, I don't normally turn the jump drives off. This is off, the now redundant event controller. Yeah, I'd accidentally left all these systems, including the ion thrust, on. I realized that at work later, and was like, oh crap. So I got home from work, came on the server, the ship was completely dead. No power whatsoever. Luckily, it was still here, and I was still alive in the cryopod, so it couldn't have been off for that long. But, yeah. So, I kinda, shut down absolutely everything, put the reactors back on, so we're now at about, we'll call it 12 uranium per reactor for most of them. So, that's getting pretty low. I forget how many, I think it was like 3 uranium per jump. So, we're gonna need to find more uranium, or at least I'd like to. But, the ship is now, I kicked those on and then left it for the rest of the night. That was enough time for the sun to come around, charge up the old solar panels, and get the batteries back in line. But yeah, it goes to show how vital it is to turn the ship off when you're done with it, because otherwise it will chew through its power. This thing isn't really, it's not self-sustaining, as much as that would be nice. So, I guess let's kick that on, just go down and turn on everything. Then I guess the plan for today is kind of keep moving around, keep doing some building, I'd like to get the ship finished. Or at least like the hull and move on. Actually, maybe I do interior first. Because I always find it's easiest. I've got the, side walls built. If I kind of, use that, I can build the interior while still being able to see it from above, from outside. And then just slap the roof on top of that. Okay. Well, so we should be good for ice now. Let's launch. And then until we see an unknown signal to jump after, I guess it's just kind of bounce around asteroids and hope we get lucky with uranium. It's something I'm gonna do here. That's not how you spell things. So that's control for the searchlight. And actually, I'm trying to think if there's anywhere I could put it that would give it a view kind of everywhere. I mean, I guess I could put it on top. Maybe we'll do that. As it's not strictly critical, but it's kind of annoying having to, control the searchlight upside down and then have to reorient myself whenever I actually want to go to what I've found. Most of the time I'll be kind of probably looking forward as I'm, hunting stuff. Ooh, maybe. What's under here? An actual void. Okay. Ooh, could I put something useful in there? So something I've kind of found, well, thought about, and also this is something that happened off camera. So this timer block, I put it on here because in the last episode I talked about trying to use a timer so that the wings would close whenever I tried to jump. The issue is you can't trigger a jump through a timer. The only way to trigger a jump is in a seat. You have to put the jump command. You can't get to that anywhere else. So that's a bummer, and again, something that would be very lovely to be added to the event controller. Not looked into it yet. I may look into how modding an event controller works, because in theory it wouldn't be too difficult to just define another event. You just have to, be able to point to a block and a certain event that occurs with that block, but I don't know how that works. So this can go away. And actually, if this didn't have the craft gen on it, it could go away. We'll leave it for now. But I realized I'm kind of tight for space in here, all things considered. And if I want to have a server room or, basically computing power on board with event controllers, I think kind of the L shape up here on each side will probably be the best bet. And it'll mean I don't get to have like a little walk-in server room where I can, go in, see all the switches and nice decorative bits. But it'll have the functionality. And I want that functionality because back here, where I think I did some welding, but can't remember. Back here, I need to set up an airlock. I've got some ideas for that, but I have a system with event controllers to do an airlock, and I would like to use it, but it requires 2 event controllers per airlock. So I have to have the room for those. In reality, I could put the event controllers down here, essentially as the floor. At least one of them. Then they'd be right there. We'll see what we do. I also don't have a good space for this little front L bit, or a good use for it, so it might as well be event controllers. But all that's to say, it could be kind of handy to put something useful in here. Actually, I think I know what it is. So, if I have a remote control, that means even if I can't get to the cockpit, I can take control and fly the ship. I should probably find a spot to stick an antenna on here. Maybe it trails like a tail? That might be something I fiddle with. I may end up using a small grid conversion, because those do, for antennas, those are very useful. But this will serve as a handy backup event controller. And, you know, if I ever decide to turn this ship into an MES mod for some reason, I can. Then, don't know which way this goes, but I'll fit the searchlight in here with it. My thinking here, I should probably go over because it's weird. So, I like the searchlight and being able to scan, but it's kind of annoying that it just juts out from this otherwise fairly sleek design. So I figure if it's kind of in here, recessed in its own little bit, I can still, you know, use it to scan around and whatnot. Obviously I can't look sideways, it does limit its view a little. But I'll be able to kind of position myself, scan stuff out, and then, you know, it's still recessed and nice. I guess the other option, actually, I wouldn't be able to scout around without turning the ship. But if I just stick one of these fancy top cameras, maybe that's what I do. Then I just rotate the whole ship. It's not like, you know, it's in space. It's not like that's an issue. And with the rotation speed of the searchlight, it's really, I think this will be an improvement. Plus, now I have a camera to use with the remote control. Yeah. So not as useful as, you know, some other things could be, but I can still move around fairly quickly, and it means, again, I maintain my no weapons stance. Now, it is interesting how much hull you get when you're in this thing and not zoomed in a little. May have to see if I can put it on a stalk somewhere. I'm gonna go to this asteroid because it seems interesting. There's this sort of that dark spot that might be something, probably won't be, but it pays to check. And also, oh, also it's incredibly close. I thought it was further away. This is basically the same part of the chunk I was on. And it looks like that dark spot was a nothing. Alright, what do you got going for you? Okay, you're very hard to see. It might be just a hint of blue. It could just be reflection. That down there. Must has a gold tint. That might be gold or nickel. See, if I wanted anything, pretty much anything else, I could just go down to that moon there and, you know, find what I need probably. But uranium is only in asteroids. Oh, and the server's restarting. That's handy. I also think, unfortunately, not many people are on the server at the moment, which means my hunting for signals isn't going to be too productive today. Guess I could go to that normal signal. If I don't spot anything on these asteroids, I may just head for the signal there and hope it guides me to salvation. Yeah, nothing of interest. Oh, I've only got 3 minutes on that too. Yeah, so the normal benefit of the searchlight would be that when moving forward, I could scan. But if I just turn the dampeners off, which I do anyway, I can just kind of coast and essentially drift my way through space. I'm going to need a bit more oxygen here too in a minute. Yeah, I should definitely get the interior of this done so I can pressurize it. Because that'll make any of this traveling a little bit more comfortable. Oh, okay, I have overshot. Bring ourselves back around. And I've not got much time, so let's go and get it. What treasure have you for me? A leopard grinder. Beautiful. And some power kits. Pretty useless, but still lovely. Ah, that is a bummer. I just realized. So, it's very subtle, but pretty much every series I run with my caffeine mod installed. Because it makes sense to me. You know, items in the game, give them a purpose. Coffee and the soda, that gives you a little energy. Next to a useless amount, but, you know, it lets them be essentially, for lack of a better term, flavored power kits, and I think the soda gives you a little health too. And I'm very used to just having that in existence, but of course it's not vanilla, and this is a public server, so no such joy. You know, something I should do, aside from get oxygen, I should probably produce a personal rifle. Yeah, and probably, as much as my instinct is to go for the sort of precision rifle, in reality, it's not all that useful. Because the rate of fire is so low, and it does more damage. I guess it's good against other players. But the, I could probably have emotes on the same page as weapons. That makes some sense. The precision rifle, for any situation where you have to take down a grid, next to useless. Like if you're shooting a ship. The rapid fire, you know, it will do the job on other players, and has a better chance of, say, taking out a turret because you put more fire down. So, there we go, just in case I need it. Let's go to that asteroid. Hopefully this isn't the one I was just at in the last episode that just had platinum. I did do a quick scout of it because the last time I was on a platinum place, it also had a little bit of uranium, but I didn't see anything. So, interior. Actually, I guess before I really get into the interior, I should get these back bits. Because how I have to do the piping for them is going to determine partially how I do everything else. So what I'm thinking is I'll have access under... Oh. Right. I just remembered the server's restarting. That hiccup was not it, but did remind me. Though it should be 5 minutes. That was like 3 minutes ago. Let's go ahead and bring ourselves to a stop. Or at least have ourselves in the process of stopping. Okay. Now at least we won't careen into an asteroid. So, what was I saying? Right. So, oh look, 1 minute left. So, I'm thinking we'll have stairs here. Which hopefully this won't be too awkward in the way. We can check that later. Stairs going up. I'm thinking door here, gap here with a vent in it, and then second door right at the back. Now the issue, I'm going to need to run piping to get the vent in, which probably means I have to grind out this block and replace it with a pipe. I should be able to do that without much issue, so long as I'm stopped, because I've done that before. But let's go ahead and get in our cryopod, just, you know, on the off chance I can't rejoin the server when it restarts. And, maybe to that point, let's, turn off all those. Alright. Well, rejoining was not a problem. That's good. Let's go ahead and... don't need the reactors. Okay. I think everything's on. Right. So I think where we'll get started... let's fly back, continue flying to this asteroid. Heck, maybe I just get to the asteroid and see what's there and then do some building. And this may be that platinum one. So that's the trouble with finding uranium. Its ore marking is essentially just black. So it's kind of tricky to see from a distance because half of this thing is just black. And even spots on it that aren't shadow, there'll be, you know, just dark spots by nature because it's rocks. And I'm beginning to wonder if maybe I should hunt down a station and see if I can just buy some uranium. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Because the moon, the alien moon, whatever that, I think it's called Titan. It's right there. I could just hop to that. Look around, hope I find a trade station. I mean, at the very least, it's somewhere else to be. Well, not detecting much. This one may just be a rock. It's definitely not one I've been to before. It's got a cool hole in it. We'll go in this hole. This would be a good spot to hide. I'm kind of hoping as I dip in here I'll be able to detect anything in the middle of this asteroid. And not much. Oh. I was looking at the ground, and because of my shadow, I didn't realize that, there was a divot in between. I just saw my landing gear sink into the earth. Okay. Well, guess maybe we'll hang out here in this crater. We may plan to go towards the moon in the next episode, but for now, let's get some building progress. So, yeah, I think what I'm gonna have to do, I should be able to do it without too much issue. So if I grind that off, grind this hinge off, don't grind that. I mean, I can a little. So I now have this pass through, which means I can build some of those, and then I'll be able to stick a vent here. Ah. Okay, well that didn't work. Right, so you can't just place the hinge and... Oh, that killed like half the thruster components. Yeah, can't just place the hinge where the other hinge is and it'll, figure it out. Okay, well... It's not ideal. And with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. I ended up recording for longer than I intended, so, you know, we'll just cut it in half, and one episode is 2 episodes. Yeah, next time we will see how I deal with the exploding, what I do to fix that, how I end up doing all the stuff I said I was going to do, and, I don't know, probably some other junk. So, thank you everybody so much for watching. Feel free to watch any other stuff I've done, become a member with the button, you know the drill. Bye-bye.